Good morning and welcome to Joy News Desk here on the Joy News channel, live from our studio here at Kokomlemle in Accra. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 144, and live around the world on myjoyonline.com. Coming up, police investigations reveals a man, its officer had been accused of killing, died of obstruction of his airway by a foreign body as 8 bags of cannabis are retrieved from his throat. We have details. Now, founding president of the Imani Africa, Franklin Kojo, says President Akufo-Addo's Tuesday reshuffle filled below expectations, as he says the country does not need a chieftaincy and religious affairs ministry.
I don't think we ever needed a chieftaincy, by the way. But just to say that what the country was expecting was not necessarily this.
And also, we'll tell you about our new project dubbed JoyNews Impact Makers, aimed at celebrating and recognizing ordinary people doing extraordinary things in their communities and how you can do your nominations. Now, details of these and more, plus business, all coming up this hour. Kindly stay with us for details. Now, the sister of deceased Shadrach Aidoo demanding justice. The police, in a statement, indicated it was investigating the matter after 8 officers had been accused of killing the 32-year-old man. There is another statement this morning updating the public on what investigations have so far revealed regarding Mr. Aidoo, who died when the police tried to effect his arrest at the West Hills Mall. The police say he died of asphyxiation and obstruction of the airway by a foreign body. 8 bags of cannabis are also said to have been retrieved from his throat. Now, let me bring you details of the statement. The narrative of the event as gathered by the police indicated that during the course of the arrest, the deceased pulled out a substance from his bag, which he quickly swallowed before anyone could stop him. He became unconscious shortly afterwards and was taken to the Sonotech clinic for medical attention, but was pronounced dead on arrival. Now, the statement, the details of the statement, the sister of the deceased Perpetual DDA, in a viral video on Monday, accused some police officers of allegedly brutalizing her 32-year-old brother, Shadrach Aidoo, at the West Hills Mall in Wager. According to Perpetual, her brother was billed to leave for Germany after spending the holidays in Ghana. According to her, Shadrach Aidoo had withdrawn an undisclosed amount of money for the items when he was stopped for a search by the police. She said the family wants nothing but justice.
Family and I got to know about the news on the 30th of January that he went there to shop, and later on he got himself killed. So we followed up to come to the West Hills Mall to gather information and also ask them for evidence, but was to no avail. What we got were alleged. Everybody is saying his side of the story. Because the police are taking upon themselves to investigate, we, the family, we have nothing more to say to contradict whatever is going to happen at come of the investigation. So we are staying back. Everything we said was alleged, but the truth of the matter is our brother, our son, our family member is dead. The boy's spirit is crying. I believe his blood is also crying for justice. So justice is what we need. That is what we need. Because my brother does not deserve to end up like that. Nobody deserves to be beaten to death for no reason. Give us the reason. You have that right to take his life. A young boy like that, you don't have right to take his life. So we beg Ghanaians, everybody to follow this matter. Everybody should follow this. The media should not stop. We beg them in the name of God. They are Ghanaians, so we deserve equal right. They should investigate. We are putting all our trust in the police. We believe in them. He can't come back. He's dead now. He can't come back and explain himself that, oh, maybe all this thing was fabricated. It wasn't like that. Maybe this, that. Nobody was there to defend him. So he's helpless now. But we, the family, we are alive, and we because he is our product. So we are the one who will talk. So we are now waiting on government to react based on what they will do. No? Then they will tell us, okay, finally, this is our final investigation, blah, 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 blah. So, okay, you can take your body. Then they will release the body. Right now, the body is in the hands of the police.
Now, the sister of the deceased Perpetual DDA believes the police are covering up for their colleague. My colleague, Joseph Akable, is with her now and joins us with Moon that they're having a conversation now. So, Joe, take it over from us and let's know what's happening there.
So, Barry Samat, the residence of Perpetual DDA, she is the sister of the deceased Shadrach, and we are going to engage her. I mean, Perpetual, this must be very difficult times for you. But let's first start with your reaction generally to the statement that has been put out by the police this morning.
Thank you. I heard the police has issued a press release about the result of the autopsy. Okay, so first of all, they mentioned my name, that they have called me to integrate with me about the investigation, which is never true. The police has not called me anywhere to ask me any questions, to tell my side of the story, to help them to do investigation. It is out. And the date they gave us was yesterday. Before yesterday, it was 14th, and they changed the date. So when we went to the morgue together with two MPs, Jomolo and Elembele, our mother, Douglas Aidoo, and our father, Honorable Kofi Amabua. We went there, they wanted to start the autopsy, and I told them that no, for us to get real evidence of everything, for us to understand, we need a medical doctor. So they should ask the police to give us a chance to find a medical doctor, which of course we got one. But that my doctor too is out of Accra. So he gave us his colleague. The colleague begged us to tell the police to allow him to come today, which is Wednesday. So the police, instead of them to understand, because I told one of my sisters, yesterday I was not around. I took the children that was supposed to travel with my brother, which is gone. I took them to the embassy yesterday for medical tests. So I was not around, and my sister called me, one of the relatives called me that the police still want to do the test without our doctor around. Then I said, no, I will never, because my name is involved. My name is headline all the stories out there and all that. So I want to see to it that I am okay with everything that will happen. So you, as a family man, me, I'm standing in for my sister in Germany and the whole family. So you are representing me, Shadrach family, everybody there. So please tell them to hold on. Let our doctor come. They should give us one more chance today, so that we will see that justice will truly prevail. And my sister said, okay, she will do. So I was there, surprisingly. Shadrach's father called me that that relative called him to convince him that whether our doctor is there or not, they can still go through the postmortem. I said, no, it is never done anywhere. We are the family And we need to be satisfied with everything that will go on the body. Our lawyer is there. Okay, some of the family members are there, but they are not medically inclined that they can understand everything that will go on there. So please, they should stop and say they have already done it. I say, so I drove from the embassy, I left the children there, and I drove to the policeman. When I got there, they have already finished.
Okay, so you are saying that the police statement says the family agreed for the autopsy to be done by their health official. You are saying that the family did not agree for that to be done.
They convinced my family to be to understand.
So some of them agreed eventually.
Yeah. I was not around. According to that, my sister, she said the doctor said he will not be around today. He's traveling, and I told her that he is not the only police doctor that can operate on my brother. So if he is traveling, let him go. For the sake of justice, let him go. Then they should find another doctor that will collaborate with our own doctor. What is the crime in this one? What is the rush for? So therefore, they eventually did the autopsy. So, my question is, if they are saying that they have done all investigations and whatever, he swallowed weed in which is wrapped in rubber. Then they found 8 folded wheat inside. Maybe Sagana for say weed in Nkrumah. Weed obi to me many weed rubber in Nkrumah to me many easy sir. The time that he was swallowing it, have they given us a footage of that time he was swallowing the weed, and he didn't struggle. He swallowed the weed easily like that. So my stand is, because they didn't wait for our doctor to come inside the operation, I will not accept it. My family too, they are saying they will not accept whatever they brought out.
So as far as you are concerned, what's your suspicion in terms of what was found by way of the autopsy report?
So my suspicion is already we have footage of the action, how the brutalization was going on, how they were handcuffing him, beating him, stepping on his back, holding his legs, touching him with a teaser. All these things, we have it in footage. But the police did not include it in their statement. That means they have swept away everything, apart from what they are saying, indicating that it is only the weed that causes death. Do you understand my question?
Yeah, I get you. So specifically, you think that because they ignored the other issues about how he was beaten, you don't believe that they found weed?
It could be that when they took his body to the morgue, police morgue, somebody planted the weed inside his throat, so that when our lawyer will be standing there, we will see that, oh, I've seen weed.
I mean, that's quite a serious allegation.
Yes, I'm saying it. So they should provide how he was swallowing it, because the whole for justice to prevail, the whole more they have CCTV camera everywhere, and they are saying they captured all the actions. So they should provide where the guy was able to swallow that substance without struggling, without choking, without vomiting. He swallowed it easily like that. And according to the report, they said after he swallowed, then he fainted, then he died. That means there was no any brutalized, or there was no any beating or handcuffing or struggling or that teaser they used to shock him. So the police will answer us in court.
So specifically, is it your request that a fresh autopsy should be done by an independent doctor, perhaps? Is that what you're asking for?
They have to do it. Even right now, as I'm saying, even if they have cleaned all the evidences, how can I tell? So if you are saying that that is the only thing that killed him, then you are going to provide the footage. Then you are going to answer how come you didn't find any evidence of how they tortured him, how they brutalized him, and all that thing. You didn't see anything apart from that weed. So you show us the reason why you didn't see all these traces, but we saw it in the video. Okay, so now, are you covering up for somebody?
Yeah, so for now, finally, what's the next line of action for the family?
We are taking them to court, and they will hear from us, because we are not buying this. We indicated that they should allow us bring our own doctor. And they said the doctor that the police doctor that is going to do the autopsy is traveling, so they don't have patience for us to bring a doctor. Even that day, the time yesterday, the time they gave us was too early. Early in the morning, 6 o'clock. It can be that our doctor was stuck in traffic. What is the rush for? What do you want to cover? Like, who are you covering up for? So we are still demanding justice. They can't tell us that what they have brought out is the real fact of the issue. So everybody should forget the evidences we have seen in on social media and all that.
Thank you very much. And so that is Perpetual Didier giving us her response and the response of the family to this particular statement that came from the police this morning. Back to you, Brace.
So that's my colleague Joseph Akable with the sister of the deceased, Perpetual Didier there. Now, MP for Jomoro, Douglas Aidoo, who thinks the police is protecting their own, and Dr. Paul Pocus, a pathologist, joins us through Zoom with more. Grateful to you, lady and gentlemen. Let me start with you, Doc, then I'll come to Honorable Member of Parliament. Now, Doc, you are versed in this area. What is the right procedure for such a process?
Well, thank you so much, my brother, and thank you for the opportunity. Anyway, I'm Professor Hussein Sampene, forensic pathologist. What is happening is that the procedure, as per the narration of the woman who just spoke to one of your correspondents, is that you, during autopsy, for avoidance of doubt, usually we allow interested parties to be present. The interested party, not all, the whole family, no. They pick some reps within the family to be present. And then, if possible, the one who is probably accused also come, to the autopsy room. But of course, if the family feels that they will not understand the proceedings, probably they have also the opportunity either to invite a representative, either a medic or any other person whom they believe will understand the proceeding to come over and then have a look at whatever the pathologist will be doing.
Okay. So from what we understand, it looks like there was family representation there, but the lady says they wanted to have their own doctor there to then sort of, agree or disagree on whatever we found. Is that something that the police should have accommodated?
Yes, it is in order. It is in order that they could have actually resorted to another, like I said earlier, a medic, somebody who understands what it is that is going to be done. So it was in order that a doctor represented them. Yeah.
How critical is that in the process?
Well, you see, in other jurisdictions where they practice what we call medical examiners cases, like such cases are supposed to have been done by, let's say, a medical examiner. A medical examiner means a private pathologist, which of course in Ghana we don't have such facility. So basically, there's somebody should do it, whether from the police or from the military or from any other facility. It doesn't change anything, because whatever the doctor has written or whatever the doctor has done is subject to, if the family feels that they are not happy, they can also call for second opinion, as one man was saying. So that one, there's no problem about that.
Okay. Now the statement also says the communication was verbally done. I mean, if we are going according to the statement, it says the pathologist, verbally told them what the result was. Is that how it should have been done, or there's another way, an official way that the communication should have been done?
I think if my understanding is clear, there's something we call verbal cause of death. That one is normal. The verbal cause of death doesn't mean that he's telling you verbally. The police, in doing the autopsy, they come with some documents which have been sanctioned by the AG, Attorney General's Department, and forcing the doctor or the pathologist to conduct autopsy. In fact, he quotes sections of the Constitution, some act, and forcing the pathologist to conduct the autopsy. So in doing so, he's not doing in the interest of only the family. He's doing it also in the interest of the government, because when somebody dies, the body belongs to the state. So in court, it is going to be addressed as so and so person versus the state. Do you understand?
Okay.
So that is what they say. So whatever the doctor did by way of writing, but it's not verbal. I don't think he did it verbal.
Okay. So the statement says the pathologist gave the verbal cause of death.
Yeah, there is a little bit of, let me say, it's not the right word to use actually. It's supposed to be initial cause of death, which of course the doctor or the pathologist who might have conducted the autopsy will eventually do what we call a detailed report, very detailed report of how the man looked like, his height, his weight, is everything the doctor will state it. And that is where if there's any doubt, then you can probably challenge it. But whatever the doctor said verbally is written. It's not only saying verbally, because the doctor would have done something called verbal cause of death. And that verbal cause of death, in this instance, is a written, but the police usually call it verbal cause of death. It's a written cause of death. That's the initial cause. But subsequent to that, what happened is what the doctor is going to stealthily write, and he's going to write pages, not a paper. He's going to write pages of whatever has happened prior to the death of this culprit. You understand? So he's going to write detailed report. So basically, that's what the doctor is going to do when he submits that basic, so the detailed report to the AG's office. In fact, through the course, and then eventually lands on the table of the AG's office, and then they take a decision on it.
Okay, Prof, kindly hold the line for me. Let me bring in the Honorable Member of Parliament for Jomoro, Douglas Aidoo. She was there, according to the statement that we've received, to also get to hear her, but she thinks that the police is also protecting their own in this matter. Grateful that you could join us, Ma. But why are you saying the police is protecting their own?
Well, you're speaking to me, is that right?
Yes, please, yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for the opportunity. I am saying so because their statement is not being consistent. We have too many inconsistency in the whole statement from the police.
Okay, so Honorable,
sorry,
okay, good. Yes, so it's okay now, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just too many inconsistency in their statement. First of all, I'm looking at the statement, the one that was released yesterday on the first page, number 7. It says that at the meeting, the parties were given the option to have the post-mortem examination conducted by pathologists of their choice. Yeah. First of all, that is not true. We were not given that option. It was the families that spoke to us that they would not be comfortable to allow the pathologists from the hospital, the police department to do the full examination. So if it would be okay, they would ask that we can add their own private doctor. So we discussed it with the pathologist of the police service, and he agreed. But at nowhere, I mean, there was nothing that we had the full option to take the body to a private examiner to do the autopsy. That would have been the best. Anyway, in any case, who watches the watchman? The person that got killed and the police people are alleged that they were part of the whole process. Yeah, they are the one doing the investigation, the postmortem and all that. And now they come up with a report, saying all kinds of things. For me, where I stand as a member of parliament, a legislator, I am insisting that the unprofessionalism of the police, the negligence of the police, and their bad policing led to the death of this young man. Because you people are claiming that you saw the police, their first report says that they saw the young man taking something from his bag to swallow. So you've already established that he took something to swallow. So it means that the person was very weak harmless, unarmed and everything. Why will you still continue to handcuff him, put him down, and allowed a third party, as another person, to come in and tase him further? I have pictures of the body that shows marks on the body, blood from the nose, the ears, his clothes. Where was that coming from? If the person just swallowed something, it was the responsibility of the police officer present at that time to make sure that medical attention was sought for him, that he was taking him to the nearby hospital to make sure that his life was safe, he was okay. Then whatever test will be done and whatever punishment that he has to be given, that would have been a different story. In this instance, or in this case, that was not what was done. Okay. The police officer who was supposed to protect lives and our dignity watched this man struggle, and in addition, handcuffed him. The person you are claiming has something in his throat, who couldn't talk, who couldn't breathe, who couldn't do anything, you still handcuffed him. Just as it happened in the case of George Floyd in the US, you still knelt down. We watched the footage, I'm sure you did as well, and still didn't do anything about it. You watched this guy to die, and you are saying that you don't have any hand in his killing. No,
okay.
We are saying
so the police say you were there, right? You were there at this when the pathologist wanted to conduct the examination, right? You said you protested about the family wanting to have their own doctor there. What was the conclusion before the police went ahead to conduct the autopsy?
I was not present the very day they were doing the autopsy. I couldn't take the cutting of the body and all that. So I wasn't. It was Honorable Susu, who happens to be the lawyer for the case, who was present.
Okay.
But a few days before the autopsy, on the 3rd of February, myself, Honorable Leader, Deputy Minority Leader, Honorable Kofi Amankwa,
yeah.
Yes, and Susu, Francis Susu, who were all there with some of the family members. So the pathologist explained to us the procedure, how the whole thing will be done and everything to us, that he was going to do the autopsy. That was when the family were not comfortable. They were very uncomfortable. So they suggested that they would rather have their own doctor to be present. And so it was agreed. They finally agreed that they will allow them to bring their own medical doctor.
Okay.
So we had arranged for one to be there yesterday. Unfortunately, the person couldn't make it. So the last conversation with the lawyer from Susu's office and also Perpetua was that because the doctor couldn't make it, if we are not able to get another doctor to replace him, then they have to postpone the whole process. So Perpetua insisted that she was going to make sure that the postmortem would not happen yesterday. At least we wanted to make sure that there was another doctor from their end to be present. And then we finally found that I just got to know that later on from the lawyer that they still went ahead and did it because the lawyer, the pathologist from the police service was traveling. If he was traveling, what was the urgency? What was the rush?
Okay.
They should have waited until the family was okay. But for me, in any case, it doesn't still wipe away the fact that the police officer stood there and saw a life to take and watched this guy died.
So I would want a clarification here. Point 7, which you referred to, says that at the meeting, the parties were giving the option to have the post-mortem examination conducted by a pathologist of their choice. But they all agreed that the police pathologist should conduct the examination.
So, and that is what I want to debunk. It is never true. It was never true. That was never the case. And the lawyer would have to come out and debunk that or say something to that effect. It was never true. They were the one that were going to do the examination or the autopsy. The family, however, the family were not comfortable to have them alone to do the examination. And so they suggested that it would be okay for them to have their own private medical pathologist or doctor to be there.
Okay. So Honorable, what are you going to do now?
What I'm going to do now is still seek for justice. I'm still asking the IGP to bring those officers that were there that day to books, because they are equally responsible. Their unprofessionalism, negligence, and their bad policing led to the death, contributed to the death of this young man.
I'm grateful.
Had they if they had done something immediately about it, when they are claiming, which I don't even believe it in the first place, because the body was in their custody at the time he died up until when the autopsy was done. So if they are claiming that the guy had swallowed something, what was the core mandate of that police officer that the on duty?
Okay.
His core mandate was to protect
I'm grateful to you that you could find time out of your busy schedule to speak to us. Now, Prof, let me conclude with you. Now, the police say the deceased swallowed some 8 parcels of something wrapped in plastic bag. From your experience, get us to understand how that is a possibility. Someone being able to swallow 8 parcels of a substance they confirm to be weed.
I mean, it can be possible. The reason is that's what I'm saying, that the doctor who conducted the autopsy surely will submit a detailed report as to what, in fact, whatever happened prior to the man's death, the doctor will record it. In fact, autopsies of this nature, but basically at all autopsies, we are encouraged to take photographs, in fact, professional, so that, in fact, the photographs are to be done professionally, because there are times that some of these pictures will be taken and then be spreading all over, and which, of course, I must admit that if one dies, his privacy is also paramount. So we make sure that the pictures are not circulated anyhow. So we usually either ask family member who can be trusted to take the photograph as the autopsy is being done. Okay. Or maybe in the case of the police, they can also take photographs, whoever is interested, but of course the pictures must be protected such that it doesn't find they don't find their way into the public domain. So I believe that, like I said, the doctor who conducted the autopsy is surely going to write full report.
Okay.
And then if there was any brutality, like the honorable member is claiming, there were any form of brutalities, any form of assault, all of them will be recorded. In fact, there's something called tissue reaction. After death, in fact, prior to death, whatever has happened to you will be shown. I mean, during autopsy or after death. So basically, there shouldn't be any cause to be worried as far as the honorable member is concerned.
Okay.
Like I said, he has every opportunity to seek for redress.
Okay.
1 and 2. I really console with them. I mean, it's always bad to hear such things, that you have lost a family member, you've lost a loved one. I really appreciate their pain. But the fact is that whatever the doctor did, full report can be sent, or will be sent, not that should be sent to the AG's office. Copies given to the interested party. Of course, he's not obliged to give it to their lawyer. He can only give such report to the Attorney General Department, and if their lawyer is interested, he writes
to the court
and gets
okay, Prof. I'm very grateful to you, Professor Sampane, for sharing those insights with us. So Professor Sampane is a pathologist. Now, moving on to other stories. Founding president of Imani Africa, Franklin Kojo, says President Akufo-Addo's Monday reshuffle, Tuesday reshuffle fell below expectations. Speaking in an interview with JoyNews, he said the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs is needless. Among others, Member of Parliament for Adanse Asokwa, Katie Hammond, has been appointed Minister Designate for Trade and Industry. Abetifi MP Brian Achampon, Minister Designate for Food and Agriculture. Member of Parliament for Karaga, Mohammed Amin Adam, is Minister of State at the Finance Ministry. He's set to replace Charles Edu Buahin. Stephen Asamoah Boateng, Minister Designate for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs.
I didn't think we needed a chieftaincy. I don't think we ever needed a chieftaincy ministry, by the way. But just to say that what the country was expecting was not necessarily placement, which was going to happen anyway, but in actual fact, more than we wanted to hear. What has happened. We still stand by the fact that close to 6 billion Ghana cedis would be saved for this economy if there's a proper reordering of the MDB as well as the various executives that Lord of that.
Now, the Northern Caucus of the majority group in Parliament have accused the NDC of scheming to remove MPs who come part from that part of the country, from the minority leadership. The claims follows the removal of Haruna Idrisu and Muntaka Mubarak from the NDC front bench in the House Addressing journalists in Parliament, the group led by MP for Sisala East, Amidu Isahaku Chiana, said the NDC does not appreciate the northern regions despite the massive support they get from there.
We've had the news, but we think that it is not a fair statement. It is not a fair change because you have 5 northern regions who contribute significantly to the progress of the NDC in terms of presidential votes and in terms of numbers in Parliament. Out of the 57 MPs that we have from the north, 37 of them are from the NDC side. And so for you to effect changes and take out the northern representatives on the minority side, we think that it is unfortunate, it is unfair, and it's unacceptable. By ensuring that there is fair representation and the 5 northern regions at least should have been represented, the Zongo communities in Ghana, which contribute significantly to the votes of the NDC, should have been represented. Unfortunately, these changes took away Haruna Idrisu, who was a minority leader from the north. It took off Mutaka, who is a Zongo man, and so Zongo representation and northern representation has been taken out of the NDC leadership, which is a complete disrespect for northern part of Ghana and for the Zongo community.
NDC MP for Tamale Central, Murtala Mohammed, described the claims as silly and only meant to fan tribal sentiment.
Said it is the most silliest press conference I've ever heard made. I think that what they should occupy themselves with, if they so love the North, is that they should be holding press conferences telling the NPP that they should not deal with Bawumia the way they dealt with Alhaji Mama Idrisu. I thought that was going to be their press conference. Sorry, Alhaji Aliyu Mahama. I thought of blessed memory, very good Muslim, in fact, a practicing Muslim, an outstanding personality. So for them to ignore those things and focusing on things that are considered to be absolute needless as far as we are concerned. The NDC is the only political party that has produced a non-Akan president. President Rawlings was not an Akan. President Mahama wasn't an Akan. So if there is a party that is all embracing for the people of this country, is the NDC. We are a Congress, no matter what happens. And like I said, you remember when I had the interview with you when this issue came up, I said I didn't care if the entire front or leadership of the MPP were from one region. I didn't care. What for me is important is how everybody is treated. And the NDC has demonstrated that anytime the NDC is in power, the NDC focus on the larger Ghanaian project rather than an individual project. Are they not concerned that the current president has appointed over 50 family members in various positions in his government? Over 50 family members. I'm not even talking of one ethnic group. Family members. They are not interested in that. They are interested in what is a non-issue. So I would have just said it's a silly, press conference to respond to. And I remember when I was passing there, I said I wasn't going to respond to this. But because we've had a different interaction and you raised it, that is what I just have to say. It's one of the silliest press conferences I have ever had made by, if you like, members of parliament.
Now, Murtala Mohammed also revealed that Haruna Idrisu has made peace with the decision and recognizes that there are no such tribal undertones to his removal as minority leader.
I spoke with Honorable Haruna Idrisu on countless times after the incident, and he retreated same. That, look, Murtala, I have never been against change. My only problem, and the problem of those of you who petitioned, has to do with the way the changes were effected. But once that decision is taken by the Council of Elders, I would urge all of you to give your more than 100% support to Atu Forson's leadership. And I am assuring you that I will give my more than 100% assurance to the leadership of Atu Forson. In fact, he also made another statement that for me was instructive. He said, look, the NDC has given me a lot. The NDC, I have been able to, I am who I am today because of the assistance and the guidance and the support I've gotten from the National Democratic Congress. So it would be unfair that if the party, particularly the Council of Elders, take a decision that no matter how I feel unhappy about the decision, so to speak, but I have to respect that decision. So it would be disingenuous on my part now to want to say that the party has taken a decision, so I don't need to. I wholeheartedly support.
Just watching Joy News. Let's go take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Stay with us. So welcome back from the break. Now, the Joy News Impact Makers Award is a social project aimed at recognizing and celebrating ordinary people doing extraordinary things in their communities. Your most credible news source is inviting the public to nominate persons who are doing projects or taking initiatives to improve the lives of people in their communities. Do you know anyone who deserves to be recognized and celebrated? If yes, then nominate that outstanding individual now. Send an email to impact.makersaward@myjoyonline.com. impact.makersaward@myjoyonline.com. Or fill the nomination form and you get this person nominated, and maybe the person will be awarded for his or her wonderful things he's doing. Project lead MFA Ewenam Atiamwa Eli joins me in studio with more on this. MFA, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a day after your birthday, belated birthday, blessed new age. I pray that God blesses your good heart.
Amen.
What more can we know about this particular award?
The Joy News Impact Makers, just as the title suggests, is to celebrate greatness. And a number of times we've done stories about simple individuals making great impact in their communities. It could be related to health, it could be agriculture, it could be education, anything as far as life, making life better in your community is concerned. And for us, we think that it's just not enough telling the story and then moving on. What can we do? We want to appreciate you for all the efforts over the years. So we are saying that if you live in any community of such nature and you've come across any person doing, simple things in an extraordinary way, just to make the lives of the individuals there better, just nominate the person, send in an entry. The email account you just read out, which is impact.makersawards@myjoyonline.com. Send your entries and then it will be considered for the award. You might be wondering, what is in the award? Well, I do not want to let out all the juice, but then we can promise you that you would really enjoy it. And like I said, it is to make you, to celebrate your work. It's not enough we're just doing a 2-minute story, a 1-minute story, just to say that, oh, maybe Kojo Brace is doing great at Joy News, and for that matter, keep watching him. We want to say, okay, because of your news reading or presentation, this life has been transformed, and this is how the community has benefited. And so it is making life better. It is bringing about development. So let's applaud you. Let's encourage you to be able to do more. That's what the Joy News Impact Makers Awards is about.
A lot of people are doing wonderful things.
Precisely.
And it's good that we've decided to reward them.
Precisely.
What sort of category of people are we looking at celebrating, and who can even participate?
We are saying, how would I say, anybody at all. But then there's a caveat. I'm not expecting to nominate a Magdan.
Okay.
Do you understand
me?
I am not expecting you to, all the big names you know in your community.
But what if they are doing extraordinary things?
Yes, but then you and I know that these people, one way or the other, I may not be the judge of all, but have already been celebrated. But the aim of this project is to celebrate the individual in that corner who is making so much difference, but nobody has heard about them. Last time you came back from the Western region and told us a story about a young guy who is powering the whole of the community with some form of generator. Exactly. That is interesting. You can imagine the number of people living in that community and not having light. That is excellent. These are the kind of people, if you had not brought up that story, nobody would have known about it. But it's a lot of gain or like life-changing experience for the community, and we want to encourage more of that. So anyone doing things like that, not necessarily in the area of energy, like I said, it covers every sphere of life, every sphere, agriculture, health, education, anything you can think of. As far as it's making your community better and making people good, let's talk about it, let's celebrate you, let's applaud you and promote you in what you're doing.
So there's a form that...
Yes, so if you send your entries to the impact.makersaward@myjoyonline.com, you automatically get a form which will give you the details where you fill out the details of the person you are nominating, and then you submit it via the same email. When it comes to us, we will consider, there's a team of judges that will look at your nomination, and then I know there's going to be quite a number of them, and then we weigh each nomination against the other and see who deserves the JoyNews Impact Maker of the Year. And then, but then that aside, there will be other people who will be celebrated for several inventions or whatever they are doing in their community. That's the plan.
All the best, MFA.
Thank you very much.
All right, but we don't know when this award is coming on.
We are looking towards April. So all of this period is for you to send in your entries, and we are encouraging as many entries as possible. You might be asking, how many entries can you do at a time? We, for one person, we encourage you to do just one entry so that we can have a general, we can cover the whole of the country so that it will be well represented.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The Concerned Home Use Dealers Association in Kumasi are prevailing on the Energy Commission to consider their plea to lift a ban on the importation of second-hand home appliances. The Energy Commission has announced a ban on the importation of used and substandard electrical appliances, but the traders fear being pushed out of business. There is more in this report.
The Energy Commission, in a statement, said 19 used electrical appliances and renewable energy products will be affected by the ban. These include TV sets, air conditioners, washing machines, and computers. But the home used dealers fear they will be pushed out of business as a result. After a series of press conferences and engagements with the Energy Commission, they are left in a limbo. Abdul Malik is Ashanti Regional Deputy Secretary of the Concerned Home Use Dealers Association.
They brought a release telling us that all what we said in the press conference is not true, meaning the government has banned the importation of home use. And in fact, to that we know they do not inform us, we do not even sit like the way we wanted them to do. So that we know that in fact, it's like they've passed a law without we, the stakeholders, our concern.
According to the Energy Commission, the new regulation is to save consumers from buying unsuitable appliances as well as save the economy of high energy demand and cost. But the home use dealers argue such high electricity consumption appliances are no longer in the system. They claim the newly imported appliances do not consume much electricity as purported by the Energy Commission.
Personal effect in say obi at the normal where you sue abruchi at the bagana baby usua. They allowed all these goods in. But so be the no money ba no about beton dia any no dear or engine to he said no dear consume electricity. Then Pacona where you sue at the no abruchi no or they ban.
Despite the Energy Commission's quest to safeguard the health of citizens from the hazards of used electrical appliances, consumers remain adamant in stopping the purchase of second-hand electrical appliances. Some say it is affordable and durable compared to new appliances.
Home use the home use no very expensive. And the home use no so less so on. And then also and so tree light said you want to tree light. Even crown no me to fan wo store we mu my using the 5 years and say me fan call repair.
Brand new na say a unya na part. And a home use no so de ota e che e say so a ho pass no aye de ebu ukoba bia unya bi edishim and some consume current.
Me fridge me toy home use. And so be 18 years a crabber. na anu ya na me fele gas ache eye adwuma nso kama enna no so ne bo na edai e wo fom wo hia ni bia timi tobi so what you say oh adibo ha mo no so nkeja bu ha mo no so nkeja aye hyenhyen kwa ti ade de ohun say ye yusu ade na yusu a eboa.
The concerned Home Use Dealers Association have called for a resolution to their grievances.
Yeni Energy Commission nim tokwa. Ye pesa aban te asem. Aban na omede mra no koma no. But omo so de koye no. Minim so omeka kira aban so omo ne ya betena se. Ba ye pesa aban hu ni se ye no omo antena ba bia. Omo anka hwe ankire ye. Meeting na omo ne ya betena se one day ni guta no. Ya hu omo biem.
Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
And that's it for this segment. Stay with us here on News Desk.